McGlashan and Bury at home on Saturday. Jermaine, obviously big defeat on Tuesday night, but what's come out of the analysis that has sort of made you think, well, it's not all doom and gloom?
I mean, yeah, it was. I think it was. Someone said it was about 7 minutes of literally madness, and we conceded 4 goals. But you know, it was the next day. Looked at some of the stats and that, and we're going to try and take positives out of the game and look at the amount of chances we created. I think it was about 17 chances in that, and you know, you look at their finishes. Although we look at it and say that we probably could have tried to avoid some of them, they were clinical. We created several chances and weren't. And sometimes that's the difference. Just, you know, I think just before their first goal, you know, we was at the other end, and if we scored that, you know, you could be looking at a different game.
And is that purely the difference, I suppose, why they're top of the table, because they take the chances?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can create loads of chances in that, and you know, the hardest thing to do in a game is sticking the ball in the back of the net, and they've obviously done that probably more than a lot of teams, and that's great to them. That's why they're where they're at. They're clinical. They've got some good players.
And presumably, you know, that sets the benchmark for you in terms of where you'd like to be as a team, because it suits you as a winger as well. If you're putting the crosses in, you want to see the ball going in the back of the net, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You know, the first thing we look at is the forwards, and you know, us in the formation we're playing, like the front six. We want to make things happen, and it's when you put in the ball in, and I think there was a few put in and that, and it you know, we didn't finish. I think there's one I could have squared. Like, we scored from the result in corner, but no, it is decision making. That's what we've looked at. It's decision making in the final third, and you know, you look at some of their decision making. We looked at theirs. You had to look at their goals, and you know, you can see why they're where they're at, because literally they were clinical. Particularly the first goal, you can pick out any one of the 4, and they were all decent goals.
I would say if you play the same way and put your chances away, you're bound to beat Bury. But you know, they've obviously scored 4 midweek as well.
You know, we looked at them, we've spoken about them. We know they're a good side. You know, remember playing them earlier in the season. You know, and they, you know, scoring 4 goals shows what they can do. They're obviously scoring 3 as well. So I think first things first, we've got to be hard to beat. I mean, at home, even if it does mean us setting up like an away side. I mean, our form's been way below par this season, and you know, we do tend to get a couple of chances in the first 15 minutes. And I think I've seen the stat about the first 15 minutes we scored quite a few goals. So we literally need to start putting chances away, and I think that is the difference as well. As long as shutting up shop, we've got to give ourselves something to hold on to and not be chasing the game.
And how do you feel that the shape that's been played in the last few games has suited you? Obviously, it gives you licence to be out where you want to be on the flanks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of freedom in that formation. You can literally, I think, in the final third, you can go where you want, and the 3 behind the 1 up top kind of thing. And I think it suited us. I mean, albeit the result, our last result, but like I said, we've been making chances, and I think as a team we just got to defend better.
Is this a test for the squad's mettle to bounce back from Tuesday night?
Of course, you know, I mean, the best way to bounce back is only on a football pitch. You know, you've heard it loads of times, and you know, it is a test of mental strength, individual characters, and you know, this is time when everyone should be together. I know it's frustrating for the fans, the staff, the players, everyone as a team, especially when, you know, the last couple of seasons it was nothing like that, and you know, we were up there, and you know, you look at like Torquay, Northampton since then, and it shows no one's got no divine right to be up there. Do you know what I mean? It's not easy, and you know, results change games, and you know, we find ourselves looking probably over our shoulders now rather than upwards, and you know, it's all about results, and it's about putting a run together, and you know, and the best way to do that is in games, and no better game than Bury at home.
And of course, if you beat Bury, you go back above them.
Yeah, I mean, that's been probably the story of the season. You know, everyone's quite close to each other, and you know, we can go above Bury, who just won 4-1, and we just lost 4-1. So to show how tight it is, and you know, it's a results-based business, and we'll be looking to get a result at home, 100%.
Good man, thank you. Good luck.
Jermaine, have you ever seen anything like that in a game before? I mean, you started off all right, you know, you looked like you were holding your own, and suddenly it was literally 7 minutes, it was gone, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, not in my career, I've not seen it. You know, and being out there, it was tough. And it was just like bang, bang, bang. It was goals, and you know, we looked over, it was in the next day, and it's even worse looking back on the DVD, especially when you know that, you know, there's things we could have cut out and worked on. But no, it was hard, and as a professional, you got to keep going, and it must have been so frustrating for the fans and everyone else watching, but especially at home. But we want to really put that right, and we're all professionals, and you know, we'll work on it. We've been working on it, and we'll look to put it right against Bury.
Yeah, everyone saw that the finishes were good, but is there anything particular you noticed on the DVD that you didn't do that the manager wanted you? You know, wasn't pleased with?
I think it's more just literally, it's just decision making. I mean, you know, to be fair to the gaffer, he can't come on and make decisions for us. You know, some professionals, we've got some of the decisions are uncharacteristic, if you like. Some of the players, you know, it would be it's little bits. It's, you know, not someone not heading it right. A decision, someone might be a little bit too deep, and you know, when you look over the goals, albeit the finishes were clinical, you know, it's little bits, and like I said, it's just decision making, and that's not defensively. That's, you know, in the attacking third. I think Mitch had had half a decent chance on Byron just before their first goal. So you know, it's always these little bits that add up to that.
Yeah, and the home form has been an issue all season. Was it last season you were virtually unbeatable at home? I think you lost 2 at home all season, but this season it's been. Have you got any idea why? It's been such a difference?
I can't really put a finger on it. You know, it's one of those where in the short time I've been there, you know, we've been really good at home, and you know, I don't know if it could be a bit of added pressure because the fact that we're not winning them. You know, I feel maybe the players might feel a bit more confident away from home at the minute, and you know, I think it's important for everyone to stick together and you know, and put it right. You know, we all want to obviously win games. You know, we started well against Chesterfield. We had a game plan, and you know, and like I said, they've scored off the back of us. And I think we stopped doing what we're doing for a little bit, and then I think we were punished. And a team like that's going to punish you, and you know, in the way they did. And you know, second half goes to show that you know we had nothing to be afraid of. We won the second half, but you know. Probably too late by then, obviously.
Yeah. So do you feel comfortable playing at home, or do you think there's that little bit of nerves until you get that first home win? You haven't won.
I feel the players are comfortable. You know, we're all good players, and we trust each other. You know, comfortable playing at home. But I think you know if you do go a goal down, I think it's a bit of added pressure. Maybe the fact that our home form hasn't been that good doesn't help the situation, and it's all about confidence as well. And you know, our home form's obviously not really bred that confidence at the minute because we're not winning nowhere near enough games at home. But you know, we'll keep plugging away. You know, I enjoy playing at home, and you know, be looking forward to, if involved, playing against the Bury and putting things right. And there's no better way to do it than doing it than out on the full pitch.
Yeah, you set the goal up at Newport, which must have been pleasing for you. And you did put some decent balls in. First time for a while you've had that space on the right. You've made it yourself, but actually being out wide, does that make a big difference?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy in that formation, and I'm finding a lot of space out wide as well, and getting chances to deliver, which is, you know, what I'm about really, and what I want to be about. And you know, when you're doing that, you want to, you know, see it be stuck in the back of the net, and you know, you want to keep making chances. So I'm enjoying it in that formation. I think the formation served us well, and you know, if we play that, then hopefully, you know, we still had a little bits that were negative in terms of the way we conceded as a team, and then, you know, hopefully we can get that win.
Yeah. Cheers, Jermaine.